everyone, just kidding. This is the Giant pregame show presented by Sherwood Ford with Tyler and Caroline. And my goodness, game day. This is the best day of the year, especially when it comes to the Edmonton Oilers. Yes, I said that. As a former Toronto Maple Leafs fan, I am wearing orange. I am fully committed. I never thought I'd see the day, but hey, I'm here with Tyler. We're previewing this game tonight. And Tyler, talk to me. How are you feeling, man? It's the energy in the air.
Yeah, I love the energy of the first game of the season and just the positive vibes, the optimism, all of that. Like, it's game one and everyone's talking about, making the playoffs, winning around, all that. Like, the season's going to be a roller coaster, but the optimism of game one of the season, there's just something different about it.
Guys, believe it or not, but Tyler was doing dance moves behind, when the cameras were off. He's that excited he was doing dance moves. Believe it or not. All right, we're talking about preseason here, and I know that the regular season is a completely different ballgame, but let's talk about the Kool-Aid all the Oilers fans were drinking in preseason, starting with Brendan Perlini, who led the team with 6 goals in preseason, coming into the Oilers lineup, absolutely deserves this spot. Let's talk about his momentum going into tonight.
Yeah, I think it'll be really interesting to see how Lamborghini Perlini adjusts to regular season hockey. I mean, nothing should change for him. He's playing with more or less the same line mates. We'll get to the line combos in just a second here. For him, he should be going into this saying, it's the same game. I don't think he's scoring a goal a game in the regular season, but a problem for the Oilers over the last few years has been getting quality depth scoring. And if Lamborghini Perlini can be a guy who scores 12, 13, 14, 15 goals this season, that's going to be massive for the Oilers.
Huge. Another Kool-Aid flavor we have is within Puljujarvi, who he's always a fan favorite. I'm starting to learn as a new Oilers fan. Bison King Whisperer does his job on the ice. This guy, how can he not be a fan favorite?
Yeah, I mean, and the expectations for him, I think, are getting high this year. And I personally think he's good enough to live up to those expectations. You think back to 2 years ago, and he was a guy who was an afterthought. We talked about this yesterday when we did a little season preview. A lot of people, myself included, really didn't think we'd ever see him back in an Oilers jersey. And then he went from afterthought to a good complimentary player in their top 6 to now we're sitting here and he's a play driver. I think he's a guy who can push that 25 goal mark this season alongside Connor McDavid. He's a really, really important part of this team, and I'm really excited to see what he can do this season.
The Oilers finished preseason with a 6-1-1 record. They're heading to Rogers Place tonight. First time in so long having fans in the stands. This is going to be huge. Edmonton Oilers fans, whether you're going to Rogers Place or you're watching from home, this is a big deal for the team playing the Vancouver Canucks tonight. So let's head into the opposition report presented by Jägburger.
Off, and you'll see up in that top right-hand corner of the Canucks projected lines, you'll see Alex Chason, the former Edmonton Oilers, signed after his PTO with the Vancouver Canucks. And one name that you won't see on that list is Brock Besser. And they're going to be without Besser tonight. I'm not sure 100% what the injury is, but it was actually Elias Pettersson who confirmed to the media after skate. And again, just looking at these lineups from Daily Faceoff, you can kind of see the lack of depth coming through here, specifically on the blue line. The Oilers have home ice advantage. They have last change. And I'll say that really the bottom four, because Quinn Hughes, he moves really well. Great offensive D-man. Not great in his own end. If Dave Tippett can get that McDavid-Draisaitl duo out there as much as possible against that bottom four on the Canucks, I think that'll be massive for the Oilers, and I think that'll be a big advantage for them in this one.
Talk about the Oilers. Hit us with the projected lineups presented by Juice Vodka for our Edmonton Oilers. Go ahead, Tyler.
So a couple of notes from earlier today. Zach Kassian put on IR. He's not going to play. Colton Sevier, after his successful PTO, he's going to draw in on that third line. We're also going to have no Devin Shore tonight. Ryan McLeod is going to center the fourth line on the blue line. No Slater Cuckoo. It's number 6, Chris Russell, on the third pairing, taking over from Adam Larson's former number. And that top line is the one that has everyone talking.
Yeah.
McDavid, Draisaitl, Puljujarvi. They go out in the offseason. They add Zach Hyman, and it's game. To see Hyman and McDavid get a bit of a longer look together to start the regular season. But at the same time, again, we talked about this yesterday. If Hyman can be a driving force on the second line, and if him and Nugent Hopkins have some chemistry, if that second line can provide good secondary scoring, then putting together McDavid and Draisaitl, I mean, you're just going to overwhelm the opposition, and you have last change, so you can pick and choose your spots with the two of them. I don't hate it. It's maybe not what I would have personally done, but I don't think this is something that's going to, cost them the game or anything.
And you're not wrong. Depth is always an important thing in any lineup, and that's exactly what Hyman gives the Oilers. But what I will say is that other players' games. If it's Connor McDavid, if it's Yamamoto, it does not matter. So I'm excited to see what Zach does on the ice tonight. Would I like to see him with Connor McDavid on the same line? Absolutely, but maybe Dave Tippett will have a come-to moment, and we'll see that in Saturday's game.
Yeah, and I think I think you're probably good for a McDavid-Draisaitl goal at 5-on-5, but 2 goals isn't going to be enough to win you this hockey game.
Yep.
You're going to need something from that bottom 9, whether it's the Nuge line, whether it's Derek Ryan playing with Warren Foegele. Really excited to see Foegele in his regular season debut, or maybe it's even that. Yes, as people who listen to my pregame podcast in years past know, my bet of the game, hashtag fade Yaremchuk usually, although last year I didn't do too bad. But tonight I'm going with the top line here, and there is 2 I kind of had my eye on for my bet of the game. McDavid over 1.5 is -135. Draisaitl over 1.5 is +110. I'm taking the value here. I think if McDavid's going to get 2 points, which he's certainly capable of, then 86. I don't hate the Oilers on the puck line either. They're 3-2 in their last 5 season openers. Also, they were 6-4 against the Canucks last year. I like the chances of the Oilers winning this hockey game on home ice, and I think there's a bit of value there, whether it's them in regulation or them on the puck line. I think they could win this game rather convincingly.
All right. I think that's it. Do you see any questions from the fans on Facebook, on Twitter? Oilers Nation, if you're watching, right now. I'm so excited. My first season here as a new Edmonton Oilers fan, and I'm excited to see how I want to drink the Kool-Aid. I've never done it before.
You want to drink the nation beer?
Yeah, exactly.
This was good. We had a couple technical problems. I know we lost audio for a bit, so my apologies on losing the audio there for a couple of seconds. But our boy Liam's working hard behind the scenes to keep us on the rails here. But no, I'm excited. Playoff-like atmosphere for this team, and we've seen McDavid in season openers in the past have that little bit of a flair for the dramatic. You think back to the hat trick against Calgary a couple years ago, the sort of last-minute game winner 2 years ago against the Vancouver Canucks as well. Last year the Oilers didn't get off to a great start, but some fresh faces, Duncan Keith, Cody Ceci. I think it's really important for them in these first 3-4 games to really sort of establish themselves. I think you're already seeing some of it with the Dave Tippett kind of comments that you get from part of the fan base. Like, as soon as he does anything, right, it's just, oh, I hate this, I hate that, and people love picking on the coach. But the one thing I'll say, and if you get out to a game this year, I talk about this all the time on the podcast. The buzz in the building when McDavid picks up the puck and you can tell he's going on a run, and the way the crowd, the roar of the crowd just grows and grows. So that's the one thing is just kind of always getting ready for those McDavid magical moments. That's the one thing.
I can only imagine it live, because when I see it on TV, I say, this guy's not human. Like, it's just, I've seen him do things live in a shoot that is faster than any other NHLer. Like, he was up against some pretty big names. I mean, I feel like I have to share this story at some point, but Connor is not normal. His talent is unbelievable, and his speed. We're happy to be with you.
We got 82 more to figure out the technical things.
Yeah, we got time, guys. But this has been the Giant pregame show presented by Sherwood Ford. And Tyler, what's your favorite burger, since you're getting us all one?
The classic 152 burger. Gotta love Yeg burger.
What is that? Is that like cheese? Is there cheese?
It's just their classic burger.
Is there cheese on a classic
burger?
Yeah. I love cheese on my burger, so maybe I'll try that one. All right, thanks everyone.